Welcome to Monday Mornings with Michelle, the new business podcast. Whether you're kicking off your day or kickstarting your business, Michelle is going to kick your ass into next week with the essential fours: strategy, systems, support, and state of mind. Now, welcome to center stage, Michelle Nedelec.
Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec. I am super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Cheryl Butler. I met her recently and went, oh my God, you guys have to meet her. So thank you, Cheryl, for being here today. I appreciate it immensely.
Thank you for having me.
So give us a kind of 5,000-foot view, who you are, what you do, and let's start there.
Where am I? I'm a bookkeeper of 40 plus years. I don't want to say how old I really am. I've been on my own for over 20, and I've been running a successful office with full-time staff, and the business is nonstop growing. My father always said, get into a business that nobody wants to do, and yeah, somebody has to do it. So that's what I did, and I've been doing it ever since, and we just keep growing. And now I'm to the point of I need to share what's in my mind with everybody else.
Nice. I love that. I'm totally concur that bookkeeping was the very first thing I got off my list. Actually, the first thing was house cleaning. The second one.
Right? That's exactly it.
Like, I am not doing this anymore.
Right.
So yes, as I teach my peeps, once you've done the revenue generating calculator and you realize how much you could pay somebody to do something and how much more money you could be making if you were doing the thing that you do and you love, it's like, yeah, to get rid of that crap.
Right.
Sooner than later.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. Well, I was trying to get my staff to do the cleaning every Friday. I'm going, we're all adults. We should be able to go once a week, 1 hour, get it all done. Yeah, no, there was always somebody not doing something. So I finally, now we have a cleaner come in.
Hey, smart. So how did you get into accounting other than your dad saying do something?
My parents were self-employed, and right even in high school, my dad, I'm a Leo. I want to be on stage. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a drama person. And my dad said, yeah, no, do business. So I took accounting 11, 12, business English, typing 10 and 11. Like I had a career before I even left the high school. But then I wanted to be daycare. And daycare program was full. The ECE program was full that first semester. So my dad convinced me that running a daycare is running a business. Take business. I learned later that running daycares have a 7-year burnout rate. It's one of the lowest paid careers. Yeah, no.
Yeah, right up there with restaurants and florists.
Right. And I don't know why they do it, but it's fun, I guess. That's why, yeah. So yeah, that's just one thing led to another. I've had a world of the first 20 years of different industries that I've worked for, from private and public. So I've worked for chartered accountants. I've worked for a franchise restaurant. I ran their stuff, all different kinds of things. So yeah. I've got a world of information in here.
So who would you say you love to serve and support? Who's your ideal client?
My ideal client is one who trusts me, is willing to pay for my advice, not always steal it from me. That the small business guy, the self-employed, let me help you, let's keep you organized. But he listens and learns, or she listens and learns and say, bring it to me in a certain fashion and pull it together. Maybe you have a couple credit cards, a couple bank accounts, a little too busy for you to manage yourself. Let's do it for you.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah.
So I love the idea that right now so many people are starting new businesses, and so many of them unconventional that I love. And some of them, like when I was teaching people how to start up their businesses, to me, the first thing was, if you don't know what you want to do, go and look at your expenses. Where are you spending your most amount of time, money, effort? And how can we figure out how to make a business out of this?
Exactly.
And for the most part, it worked awesomely because they were doing something that they loved. And all of a sudden they get all these tax write-offs. And it's like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people think that, it's just me. And just because I'm a business owner doesn't mean I know the tax laws. So let's hear it from your lips. What do you think about that idea, and where would you chase it?
I think, well, first, not everybody should be self-employed. Okay. There are some people that, I advise them to quit, go back to work, right? You got to want to be organized. You got to want to put in the time, and you got to know there are deadlines for things, and you got to follow through. If you can't follow through, if you don't, it's like any game you play on the computer, if you're not willing to follow the rules, you die. Right? So if you don't play the game right, you're going to crash and burn. So let me help you play the game right. And if you still can't, yeah, maybe don't do it, right? But being self-employed is huge. Even just on the side, there's a lot of people doing the MLM, the network marketing, direct sales, all the same thing, different terms. And if you have a loss, that loss gets to go against your other income. So you're benefiting. You have a job, you don't get to write off your house. But when you're self-employed, you get to write off part of your house, right? When you have a job, you don't get to write off your vehicle. But when you're self-employed, you get to write off your vehicle. So it actually makes your business gets to pay part of your expenses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and we've been talking about doing business acquisitions and taking over companies whereby the principals are really good at what they do. They're really good technicians. They make beautiful websites. They're, they know the back end of WordPress. They do the thing they do beautifully,
Right.
but they are still stuck in the Michael Gerber technician aspect of their job. And it's like, I so don't want to run a company. It's like, well, come talk to me because I would love to run your company with you. And we're at the point where it's like, and I'm happy to partner with you. So it's like, you can still have the freedom, the independence, the write-offs and the fun stuff, but you don't have to be actually running the business. So yeah, that's one of the aspects that we're looking at. I think it's a perfect mix because there's so many people right now that one can't work. So they get laid off and they're like, now what do I do? Oh, I'll start a company.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then the other part of it too is they could be good at what they do, but how do they get more work? They're so caught up in what they're finishing. So whether you're building a website or you're building a house or you're fixing a lawnmower, whatever it is, but you don't have time to go out and get the next one to do. So, and that takes, like, even in my own industry of bookkeeping, I get people asking like every week, are you taking on new clients? Like that part's not an issue. But if I had to go look for clients, I don't have time.
Exactly.
So that's when you got to be prepared. Absolutely.
And I know that the feast and famine, I think, was stronger when we were going to networking events and things like that, because it was so easy to take an hour and drive there and take an hour to eat lunch and maybe do, shoot the shit a little bit while you're there. And then now we're back.
Fun. It was a half a day away from the office.
Exactly. Like, we can do this. So yeah, well, that does bring up another issue because obviously we're not writing off our lunches anymore. We're not writing off our cars anymore. Well, can you write off your car while it's sitting in a garage?
Well, it's sitting. Well, actually, the depreciation, because it's based on mileage, right? So according to CRA, you have to keep a logbook, and in that logbook, now this, bear in mind, 90% of people never do it. But if in the event of an audit, they want to know the odometer start, the odometer end, where you started, where you ended, why you went there, who you saw, and then the total mileage. So you can calculate, I go to the bank. I got to go buy supplies. I got to go get some stuff or whatever, right? So you can still have some, so your mileage is going to be smaller and your price is still going to be smaller and like dollars are going to be smaller. You can still write it off.
Exactly. Well, and you're probably.
And the depreciation, same thing, right? All that sort of stuff. And what expenses can you write off? All of them. Like, what does your car cost you? And a lot of people, I just got tires. Yes. Car washes, people keep forgetting to keep that little tiny chit that spits out in the little machine, right? And keep your car wash slips. All adds up.
Absolutely. Keep all of your receipts, people.
All of them, yeah.
All of them. If you can't write it off, you'll figure it out later. But if you can write it off, you need the receipt.
So I often say, if you're sitting there holding a piece of paper and you go, I wonder if I can. The answer is yes, keep it. Take it to your accountant at the end of the year and go, can I? And then talk about maybe outside the box, we can figure out how to write it off.
Nice.
One of my favorite one was I had a contractor who wanted a lift kit for his truck because it looked cool. I'm like, but you're working on sites, right? He goes, do you deliver product and like 2x4s? And he's like, yeah. And I says, well, when you back up to things, do you sometimes have to make sure you're above something to get it closer? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you need a lift kit for that. And he's like, wow.
Absolutely, you do.
Right? So different purpose, but same result, right? So why not? But again, keep it all.
Keep all your receipts, people. And to me, it's so much fun going through what you can write off. Because that's my jam. That gets me excited. Everybody's going, no, I'm not going to read through the manual on it. But it's just cool stuff. It's like if I were to buy you a bottle of wine, say, thanks for being on the show today. Could I write that off?
Really? I like wine.
Really, what kind?
I'm a red drinker. Yay! A lot of people forget about those thank you gifts. the Tim
They're
$10
cute.
Tim cards, you know, the whatever bouquet of flowers. If you're a realtor, a lot of realtors do a whole big basket, you know, with a mailbox and, you know, all kinds of silly things. And like, that's advertising. That's promoting your business. Absolutely. But that is when, and I recommend everybody, you got to say thank you. You want repeat business or referrals? When you get even a thank you card, you'll remember that person more than somebody else. And that's huge. So highly recommend thank yous.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
I on that note, in the whole COVID thing, once upon a time, I used to love going for board meetings in, you know, Hawaii, France.
You know.
But somebody asked me, like, what size company do you have to be to have board meetings? And I had my answer, but what's your answer?
Any size, a corporation. A board meeting, and you got to be incorporated to, you know, have a directors and board, you know, because there's a lot of people doing the MLMs. They're not incorporated. They're just off on the side. But as long as you can prove you did business where you are. So if you did it, my dad took my mother to the Virgin Islands. It was the worst trip of her life because he claimed that it was going to be a director's thing. She was all excited, but we were in the garbage business at the time, and he took her touring every back alley of the town that they were in to see what kind of garbage bins they had. And she was mortified that she never got to spend time on the beach. But we have to write off the trip. So we did business, and you're just, okay, you know, everybody, or not everybody, there are so many industries that has a convention in Las Vegas. I have a hairdresser lady that does her annual shopping in Las Vegas because she sells clothes or whatever in her store, right? I have investors, WFG has a convention, all this sort of stuff. Is that happening anymore? Yeah, eventually it will, kind of thing. But I'm seeing like our Zoom calls, but you know how people are getting together and having lunch together on Zoom calls? Why not count that food for that Zoom call?
Ooh, well, of course.
You didn't think of that one, did you?
I have not thought of that one.
It is a meeting. You brought food to in front of your computer. It's not like you got to get up and go sit on your dining room table or whatever, right? So this was a special meeting. There are people getting together going, let's all have sushi today, right? You know, and still have your meetings.
Have theme meetings, then you have to.
Yeah. Coffee.
Yep.
Right after coffee. Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
If you were in
COVID and it's a thing.
If you were in an office, you had
it's an office supplies.
Office supplies.
Of course. So talk to me about office supplies. That's got to totally have changed since.
Well, yeah. So you're looking at paper towels, you know, your cleaning supplies. That's what you want to keep everything clean. I'd say buy all those extra hand sanitizers everyone has and use those. Right? Absolutely. And of course now they changed it a few years ago, but you now get to write off your computer stuff. Right? It used to be that 30% depreciated, and then it was 50%, and then it was 55%, and now it's just like you get to write it off because it's changing so fast. So if you want a new iPad for this whole project of Zoom calls, then we get to write that off.
Nice, absolutely. Well, and that totally makes sense. So you're going to need new headsets, need new mics.
Absolutely.
You like my podcast, Mike?
I like your mic.
It's fabulous, and when I feel like going with the deep voice, I get closer to the microphone.
That's
awesome.
Serious business conversation.
Exactly. That is awesome. So what is one of the most fun and innovative clients you've had lately?
Fun and innovative? I've been having fun. Haven Sleep Products. He sells mattresses made from plant-based products. And it's he himself that's doing all the videos. So it's very fun when he comes in the door and I'm like, you're the guy I saw wearing your pink shirt and your khaki pants and those funky socks because you don't wear shoes on your bed. Right. And he's laying there on the bed. So, right. And he's talking. And I'm just like, I see him all the time. He's advertising like nuts everywhere. So he pops up at night when I'm playing my solitaire because I liked his stuff on my Facebook. And if you do the whole, you allow things to send you your ads based on what you like or whatever, all of a sudden I'm laying there in bed and up pops my client. And I'm going, hi, Scott.
And you're going, clearly you write off your pajamas and your pink fuzzy socks and because you need them for props for the videos.
Totally. Right. Yeah. He's rented a little old house that they have a barbecue pit in the backyard. They have a pond with koi. The whole basement's full of their sheets and their products, and upstairs is all their offices, and they're doing it's all online and right, and they're shipping. And they've rented this entire house. So they go outside for lunch and they got this yard. And it's just like, okay, you're doing this and it's nice, right? You know, the staff love working for them.
Mm.
And
So that's got to beg the question too. If we're doing like commercials and video and like speaking events where you have multiple rooms that you're talking from, that makes all of those essentially a write-off for at least the rental of that day.
Well, definitely the rental, like, you know, those direct, like you wouldn't do it. But as far as props go, according to CRA, it's if you would not have bought it otherwise, right? So if you're doing a video that I'm really healthy and I bought a yoga outfit, but I never go to yoga and I only would wear it for that one outfit, then okay, maybe yes.
Yeah.
But if you buy it because you like to wear yoga clothes all the time, then no,
not so much.
Right? You know, I have some clients that they're going everywhere, doing their holidays everywhere, and they're taking their Enagic water system, the Kagan water system. Phenomenal water, love it, recommend it, right? But they're taking videos everywhere they go, holding their water thing, right? So they're sitting on a jet ski, they're on a horseback, you know, and they're writing all of it off because they're actually videoing and promoting and doing it. You're going, cool.
Nice. Yeah. And how much more important is that? I know that we got ones with when we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, the team supplied us with them so that no matter where we are in Africa, we could have clean water. Yeah. So, I mean, that was monumental. That was awesome.
Isn't that huge? Absolutely. Yeah. I, even in the business I do, I share products on the side. I'm a Juice Plus person. And it's like, you know, everybody needs to take the nutrition, right? You know, yes, you're in business, but are you balanced, right? And I'm such one of those people, but.
Nice. Nothing like a little extra energy throughout the day. I mean, what entrepreneur can't use a little healthy energy?
Absolutely, right? You got your nutrition, you got your water, you move your body, get some sleep, you're doing good.
Especially now during COVID, we had to laugh. There was a little meme going around and said the Alcoholics Anonymous 2021, and it was an arena full of like 100,000 people. Yeah, no kidding. That's true. Yeah. Get your healthy fit in. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's an example of one of your Cinderella stories of somebody that was a mess before they met you and you made life good again?
The biggest example I did was, we even took pictures and put it on my little rack card to show you before and after. It was a guy whose accountant was stealing from him. And he made the office so messy that you couldn't find anything, like gone, right? And he had gone through, he fired the guy, he tried to organize the office. And then I went in with one of my young ladies and we actually slept in the room next door on couches for 3 days and sorted his office. We must have had 50 boxes. You couldn't see the floor when we walked in. The walls were covered. It was a mess. And I think the guy's purpose was CRA won't be able to find anything. And we cleaned it up and we got him organized. It took about 1.5 years and still doing his things. We're no longer working with him since because he himself went off the rails for something else, but we got him caught up. We got him organized. We went, you know, like, I don't want access to your bank account, but give me your bank statements, right? Let's do this and get it. But yeah, we spent 3 days sorting somebody.
Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. It really was. Yeah. Like, I have a before and after picture of my rack card. I don't have one near me. It's kind of funny. People like, that really happened. I'm like, that's me.
Wow. That is crazy. Do you got those pictures on your website?
No, I'm going to have to. We're updating. Yeah. No, we're updating new people, new headshots coming up and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fabulous.
It's a whole other world. Like, as a bookkeeper, accountant person, I'm just sitting at my desk all day long. And because I know people and you've been doing this long enough, like I said, I have no problem bringing in business, but people are like, so what's on your website? I'm like, oh yeah, I got one of those. So I'm trying to get my new girl. She's here. She's going to get on it. My husband designed the website because he's a web guy, and we're going to teach her. This is where you put put the pictures, put the write-ups, how to get access. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, so I know that I've been looking for tax accountants, bookkeepers that actually know how to write things off. I had a client once who said to me, like, I can't write off the business coaching, so I don't know if I can do it next year. And I went, what do you mean you can't write off your business coaching? She goes, my accountant won't let me. I'm like, fire your accountant because
No
your
kidding.
accountant's an idiot. Like that's almost like the number one thing next to your rent for your
Well,
space.
nowadays, you're paying for coaching and also even your self-empowerment courses will only improve your way of doing business. Like, because
Absolutely.
it improves you, it improves your communication, improves all that sort of stuff. Why would, if it costs you money to make the money, in a nutshell, that's where it is, right? But yeah, no, that's wrong. I did pay a business consultant for a few months, like at $200 an hour, and went, I'm in the wrong business. I got to switch.
Now that I can see.
Yeah,
That makes total sense to me.
right?
Awesome. So I know that I'm thinking, like, when I'm looking for an accountant, I'm looking for somebody who knows how to do the write-off. Somebody who knows how to give you the right advice. Like I said, I can't say it enough. I fell in love with you. But what do you think some of the stumbling blocks that somebody might be having right now where they're thinking, oh my God, Cheryl, I need you so bad?
If you're dealing with currently with the bookkeeper accountant that forgot to file your GST when they did the year end, or forgot to remind you, or change an address, or something like that, or even the things like you're allowed to write off that wine you gifted, like just having those conversations. I don't know how many times I've had people going, nobody ever told me that. I'm like, yeah, and the biggest thing is, if in the event of an audit, what do you got to prove? Because I've had some people, well, can I just pull out some numbers? I'm like, great, we'll use your numbers. However, if in the event of an audit, you're going to have to account for that. And, it's not me, it's you, right? This is your paper, you sign, right? But if your person is not reachable, you can't send messages. Like I'm so busy, I don't take the calls on the first call anymore. I'm just that busy, right?
Wow.
But I get to you. But if you want me to respond quicker, send me an email, and I'm all about answering questions, right? But if your accountant won't answer questions, because the last CA that I worked for, which is 20 years ago, he did not want me to explain to our client how to do something better because they wanted to keep getting paid to fix it.
Ouch.
Right?
That's just kind of wrong.
Wrong in a big way.
Kind of, I mean, totally.
Right? And that's the one conversation I had that kind of triggered me. Yeah, I need to leave here. Right? I was a single mom. I was worried about leaving, but people found me and I was working full time within a week. So it was like, it was okay. But it's just like, our job as a good bookkeeper is to direct you to do things better.
Nice.
If you're a good bookkeeper, even things like, hey, I noticed you don't have any life insurance. Do you need someone to talk to about that? Right? I got some numbers here, right? I can't sell it to you, but life insurance.
Well, yeah, because it's so important to understand, one, how to get money out of your company, and two, how to support your business if you aren't there anymore, either whether you're incompetent or your dad.
Right.
There's just so many things to know and understand about being in business, especially if you have somebody who's dependent on that income. Like, that's ridiculous.
We had a client just recently, her business burned down and they were on the top floor and had to jump out and spent a couple of months in the hospital. And she's emailing us from the hospital, which I'm going, you can wait, it's okay, right? But she thought all the insurance money was tax-free. And I'm like, no, the company paid for the plan and it is an income replacement. It's replaces the building. So it's as if you sold the building. This is all money you got to account for. And she was just floored. So I had to play with how I reported it, what it did. It took her a while to open up and give me all the details to trust me enough to go, I know what I'm talking about, right? And brought her from owing 30,000 down to 9,000. But it's like, these are things you don't know. Something happens, that's taxable, it's income.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this right now and you're interested in finding somebody that actually does corporate insurance, I'll be interviewing people, so go and check it out on the list. But yeah, to me, you got to wear your big pants. Like, come on, you're in business now. If you're going to sign the sheets that say you get to have benefits at work, then you got to sign the sheets that say you get benefits at work when you run the company.
And you got to read it.
Yeah.
You got to read it. You don't just blankly sign something that you go, okay, great, I have insurance, but I have no idea what it is. And then afterwards you go, oh crap.
And ask the questions. Because the other thing is, if you're in Quebec right now listening to this, whatever rules apply to the rest of the planet don't apply to you. Whatever rules apply to you guys, they don't apply to us. So you absolutely have to go and look at that.
And again, accountants, insurance agents, talk to them. Ask the questions. And if they don't want to work with you, you don't want to work with them.
Absolutely. Bankers, like everybody's
Investors.
got information. And if your people aren't giving you information, like
Yeah,
fire them. Because I've also had people that say, oh, but I don't have a strategy tax accountant. I have to pay to have a strategy session with my accountant. I'm like, No, actually, no, you don't. You just have to have somebody that knows what they're doing. And I mean, you can, like, you can have a strategy day with me, you can have a VIP day with me, and yeah, I'll
absolutely.
charge you extra for that, and we'll go in depth to the thing, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna answer your questions when you ask them, or
Exactly.
that I'm gonna elude you and not answer that completely, like, just 'cause. It's like, okay, you need to know more about that, and you need to set up a meeting to find out more about that, because everybody's in a different position, right? You don't know what your
Absolutely.
clients know and what they don't. So
Right. And
ask.
yeah, ask. And they all don't understand that you don't have to have CPA now, but it's CA, CGA, CMA from previous uh, acronyms, what they've had. You're allowed to file your own taxes if you really wanted to. So if you found somebody in the know, like me, I've been doing this forever, but I don't belong to a professional organization, still doesn't mean I can't do it.
Mhm.
And there's some people that believe you have to be a CA. My only situation I've been in is I got one farmer, the numbers are big enough and the loan is big enough that the bank required a signature from somebody with initials. And literally all they did was take my work, put it in their software, make a pretty statement, and send a $2,200 bill and said, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Just because that's what the bank wanted.
But that's a beautiful thing to me is when your bookkeeper knows what they're doing and the tax accountant looks at it and goes, wow, that was awesome.
Yeah,
That bookkeeper.
yeah,
I've met a couple
exactly.
of you, maybe 2, 3, but that's about
Not
it.
any. I know. I'm on the verge of
So
going, I
hard.
think I need to create a course on how to be a better bookkeeper. But right now I wanted to
Please do.
be how to be a better business person. Can you keep your receipts? Can you do your thing? Right?
Absolutely.
Do
Well,
I
and,
register for GST or not?
mm,
Right? When? How? Why? I have people register and they go, well, I haven't done anything for 6 months. And then I start doing it again, but I don't have to charge, right? I'm like, you're still registered.
don't register till you have to. That's my only advice. I hated that. I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. And so many people I know too are afraid of being audited by the CRA. And it's like, half of them are just normal people doing their job. And when you ask them, well, when I ask them questions, and they're like, oh, you're curious. Oh, this is fun. Oh, this
Yeah.
is totally different. And they're like, I actually liked my job today because you were
Exactly.
fun. And I'm like, yeah, I actually want to know what you know. Go
They're just
figure.
normal, they're just normal people doing their job. And
Yeah.
it's not complicated if you kept all your receipts and you had your bookkeeping done. It makes life way easier. Here's a printout. Oh, you want those 6 invoices? Oh, got them right here. Not a problem, right?
Yep.
Make audits easy. It's
Exactly.
those who don't want to do the work at the beginning. Sometimes it might cost you more because maybe you're a busy paper business,
Mm,
right? So maybe it costs you a little bit more in bookkeeping, but you'll save a lot in audit time.
absolutely. Well, and the headaches and
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
figure out your assets. And when you get to loans, and it affects you so many other places. When you go to apply for a credit card, when you go to get business, like there's so many other places where it shaves off time, money, headaches, that it's totally worth. Like to me, and bookkeeper is like the like I said, it's billing number 2
It's
that
your
gets in touch
foundation.
with
It's
somebody.
part of you got to have that team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And yep, the better
absolutely.
they are, the more the clouds part and the angels sing. And you're like, oh, thank God.
Exactly, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it, love it. So don't be afraid of the CRA. Just get yourself a good bookkeeper that knows how to do what they do, and they can talk to the CRA and you don't even have to. It's like,
And,
oh,
and
okay.
sometimes you get a grumpy one, but
Yeah.
you just, tell them have a great day when you're done and you kind of perk them up a little bit and, you know,
Don't send them wine. That's not a good idea. They don't like that. Send them other presents, but don't send them wine.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, in case it hasn't been obvious to everybody at this point, how do you think that hiring a good bookkeeper directly helps somebody scale their business as far as strategy, systems, support, or state of mind?
How does a bookkeeper help with that?
Hmm?
The bookkeeper, it's funny because that's what we've been talking about every morning this week with my staff going, how, they want to be better bookkeepers. I'm like, have you noticed patterns? All of a sudden you've been bookkeeping for 3 months and you notice there's a lot of truck repairs. And you go look at the balance sheet and notice the truck is, it's been sitting on the books for 8 years and it's written down. Maybe you can suggest that maybe it's time for an upgrade, right? You do know that, but just being aware and offering those advices, right? And just being organized. Maybe we can offer a different way we're doing our bookkeeping that works. Some people want to do some of their own, like doing the online stuff, but they use it just for their sales. So you bring in your receipts and be organized, and everybody can, it's kind of finding what's right for the client and seeing what their patterns are. And that's a big thing. And people say, how do I know what my patterns are? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's because I do word searches all my life.
You just got to find those people who go, hey, what's your silly human trick? It's like, I see patterns.
I see
Like,
patterns.
okay, they're good.
Right. And people are like, I'm out of balance. I can't see it, not reconciling. Well, how much out? Oh, it's like right. Oh, it's right there. Find it, right? And you just, yeah. But yeah, our job is just to show them the numbers in a timely fashion. Did you actually make money this month? You made money. Are you setting it aside for your corporate tax? Because I tell you, CRA, if you owe money at the end of the year and you don't pay installments the next year, because you owed money the previous year, they want money in advance the next year. And if you don't make them, they'll charge interest on installments not made.
No.
Yeah. CRA is kind of a license to print money, you know.
That was awesome.
Being aware. Yeah. Being aware is the biggest thing.
Absolutely is. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how might they do that?
Well, I have a website, altogethertax.com, but one L, because it's Al to get her. tax.com because it is a proper word. Everyone keeps trying to spell it with two L's. It's not. There's actually in the English dictionary altogether with one L, because I like to pretend we have it all together.
We like to think we have it all together. So give me that again, all together.
Tax, TAX.com.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I have a 1-800 number too.
Okay.
1-877-309-5484.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that I write that down properly so that if you're driving right now and you can't write that down, just go to awarenessstrategies.com and I will have it there under the blogs. We'll do a little search and just go bookkeeping. You'll find it, or Cheryl, you'll find it there too. And we'll make sure that you get together at altogethertax.com.
Nice. Thank
awesome. You. I love it. So
I also have my little package. You know that one that I sent you? I cleaned it up a little bit. And I had my husband put it on the website. So if anybody wants a little description of what the different expenses that you're allowed to do, and then at the back of it actually have a worksheet so you can have a list and what those things were. It's kind of a really handy, what do I need to know package. I got that on the website now for $5. You can download your little ebook.
Is it obvious? Do they have to click on
I think it's one of the tabs across the top. He was finishing it last night. My computer techie did something, so he couldn't do the security. I don't know. I'm not a web person, right? But it will say self-employed ebook.
There right you go. Get the self-employed ebook from altogethertax.com. Yeah. And yeah, it is a super awesome infographic. It's super helpful.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So before we head off, I got to ask you this. At what point in life did you know that you were a special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
Oh, I think it was that point when that guy said I wasn't allowed to help other people. Right? That's just like
the rebel in you is like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, and I think that was it. And even the partners at that time had less experience than I did. And because I wasn't a member of a professional organization, I got paid less. The whole equation was just wrong. I got criticized what I wore. I'm going, what does it matter what I wear as long as I have, the work gets done? Because I had an East Indian family gifted me one of their suits and it was royal purple with gold. And I was so proud of this thing. And I got pulled in and had a conversation about professional wear. And I'm going, you can't get much more cool than this, right? But so those are the things that are just like, this is not the environment for me. So I've created an environment. I've ran into the odd accountant, and there's not many of us that are quirky, that are just, we want to create an atmosphere of come in, relax, it's okay. We're here to help you, not make your life worse. We're not stuffy. There's a few of us out there.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So peeps, if you have any questions, comments, or want to give feedback, whatever, want to hear more about Cheryl, absolutely, please let me know, because we'd love to start doing some courses, start doing some really fun stuff together, because I know you need what she has. So any last word for our peeps?
Nope, just have yourself a grand day. The sun is shining today.
And if it's not, just make it shine internally. It's all good.
Exactly. It's always there. You just can't see it sometimes. It's always there.
Love that. Awesome. This is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. If you know anyone who would make a great guest for the show, or if you have questions or a topic you'd like me to discuss, reach out to me at michelle@awarenessstrategies.com or connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to our show. I am all about being a resource center for entrepreneurs to give them the information and the support they need to make it in business. As such, I have Taking Your Business Digital Q&A every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain. To register for that, go to awarenessstrategies.com/digital. That's DIGITAL. I look forward to meeting you and actually finding out how you are. So see you on the flip side.